All right, everybody, Friday, October 4th, and we're just 31 days away from Election Day, November 5th. Today, on Bolling, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis gives and saves the day. We'll get to that. Joe Biden embarrasses himself for a change, and your daily Bolling Truth Bomb is just ahead, so here we go. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis saves the day again.
At my direction, the Florida National Guard and Florida State Guard will be deployed to critical ports affected to maintain order and, if possible, resume operations, which would otherwise be shut down during this interruption. Florida Department of Transportation is coordinating calls with seaport, rail, and trucking partners to ensure that all are prepared and positioned appropriately to limit disruptions to the supply chain and other areas should this continue. I'm also directing Florida Department of Transportation to temporarily waive the collection of tolls and other fees for commercial vehicles using public highways in Florida and waiving the size and weight restrictions normally governing vehicle.
Well, that DeSantis yesterday sent a clear message to the striking dock workers. Nope. Hold on here for a second here. Do you remember yesterday we talked about what Ronald Reagan did when the air traffic controllers threatened to strike? And he said, you can't strike. If you strike, you're going to be fired. They tried his bluff. And you know what he did? He fired all of them, 11,400 air traffic controllers. That meant our skies were shut down. Reagan brought in the military to run the air traffic control, and things went smoothly. He hired other people and banned those people from working for the federal government for life. DeSantis did a Reagan. He just pulled a Reagan. That's going to work. That's what works, folks. That kind of tough talk, not Joe Biden. All Joe Biden did was come out and strongly urge the strike workers to take immediate action to end the strike. Well, disrespectfully, sir, actions always speak louder than words. DeSantis provided actions, Biden provided words. Bullies and thugs really don't respond to empty threats from a president who prefers the beach to helping Americans. A reminder of the kind of bullies we're dealing with here and the kind of situation America almost found herself in.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's gonna happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are.
That was the head of the ILA, the International Longshoremen's Association. That's Harry Daggett. Let's call him Dirty Harry. Remember that guy yesterday? We talked about him. We showed his 7,000 square foot home, the Bentley in the driveway. The guy takes lavish vacations. That's the guy who was going to bury America, who's going to break our supply chain for the second time. That guy didn't care. 40% of our goods, 14% of all agricultural exports go through those ports. You know who else doesn't care or even know what's going on? This guy.
What do the states in the storm zone need, Mr. President?
Okay.
What do the states in the storm zone, what do they need after what you saw today?
Oh, in the storm zone?
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. They're getting everything they need. And they're very happy across the board.
It was like, huh? What? What's storm? Whoa! What storm, he says. That should tell you everything you need to know about Biden-Harris. The world is watching, and they're embarrassed. They're embarrassing us, those two clowns in D.C. We can't even take care of our own country. Americans are drowning. And Joe says, well, here's a few hundred shekels. Make that do. The world is watching as our port workers strike in the middle of this madness. The world is watching as a Biden health secretary, folks. You can't believe this. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, watch.
Hi, I'm Admiral Rachel Levine, and we're here talking about food is medicine. I'm so excited to speak with Leah Pryor, executive chef and founder of the Culinary Medicine Program at the University of Vermont Medical Center. Tell us what people should know about your model and maybe how other medical centers could replicate your model to help people.
So when I think about how we can move the needle, I really like to think, how do we get that into the hands of the practitioner?
Our health secretary, Rachel Levine. Dude says he's a woman. Was Aerosmith song, Dude Looks Like a Lady? Anyway, Rachel Levine, bombs are flying into Israel. Dock workers may or may not be still striking. There are people being pulled out of trees in North Carolina. And Rachel Levine wants to talk about food with another, I don't know who that was. The world is watching. The world sees what we see right there. That's the America that's represented by Joe, Kamala, and Barack Obama. Why do Joe and Kamala and Barack hate America so much? If you don't vote for Joe Biden, or if you oppose Biden, Harris, and Obama's anti-American policies and America killing mistakes, they will even go so far as to ignore your city as Americans hang from trees trying to survive. Joe Biden speaks kinder words about China than he does about half of the country, and I emphasize half. Joe Biden gives more love and money to the likes of Ukraine and Taiwan than his own country. Joe can't even remember there was a storm and that Americans are still missing. The world is watching, Joe, but more importantly, so are American voters. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, this is not a party that loves America. Well, so 3 days into this show, yesterday was the 4th day, something very weird happened now. Was it a mistake? Who knows? I don't know. Let's take a look at the first one. There it is on my Twitter, right? So last night after we taped the show, here's how it goes, folks. You tape the show and you send it out to YouTube, to Rumble, to Apple, to Spotify, and all the podcast platforms. Well, last night, about an hour after we taped, I got a call from the producers and they said, Bolling, we just got deplatformed by YouTube. They canceled the whole page, the show. I said, what do you mean? What do we do? What do we say? Yes, I was going through my mind. Did I say something bad? Did I say something wrong? Did I violate community standards in any way, shape, or form? And I said, no, I don't think we did. And they looked through and they said they didn't think so either. So they went and they called YouTube. So in the moments when they called and petitioned YouTube to say, hey, how about you rethink that or tell us exactly what we did wrong, I put that up on Twitter. I said, look, we got deplatformed. And take the next one, that's what it looked like if you looked for the show on YouTube yesterday. And then the great Mike Lee picked up on that. Mike Lee is senator from Utah, a free speech, First Amendment defender, constitutionalist. Mike Lee saw it and said, knowing that A, Eric Bolling is a conservative, and 2, YouTube despises conservatives, suggests that YouTube's removal of Eric Bolling YouTube channel was probably not an accident. So I don't know if it was an accident. We still don't know. We're still talking to them about what happened. There may have been some confusion about rights of some of the CBS debate that we played, but we're entitled to do it, so we think we're in the right. But they, YouTube's credit, they did take it down. So before they reinstated us, I tweeted that, there it is, Senator, you are the Braveheart defender of free speech. And Senator came back and said, Bolling, thank you. And he really is. Mike Lee he's a great man defending free speech. But, I don't know what happened. We still don't know what happened, but very odd, for the 4th day that we're on the air, 32 or 33 days before an election, we get completely deplatformed by YouTube. Hopefully it was just an error. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say it was error. But we wanted you to know how really, really easy it is to silence voices. And I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying that it's a very easy process. And so you look at YouTube, you look at X. Elon Musk says he's going to defend free speech, and it's very, very good that he's doing it. And Rumble says they'll defend conservatives. We don't know. Just want to let you know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. And thank you. Just keep going to YouTube and tell them, hey, we're all right. It's going to be okay. unfortunately, the censorship is rampant in America. We will be here to defend free speech. It makes me only more engaged, more animated, more ready to take on anyone who's a censor or anyone who undermines or undercuts the First Amendment. Bolling. Now, here's a question for you. Has Liz Cheney ever really mattered? I mean, the only reason she was even remotely relevant for a while is because her daddy once carried George Bush for 8 years of that presidency. Truth bomb here, folks. Let's be honest, Liz Cheney is a nobody and matters nothing to anybody, and certainly not to the country. Seriously, why does anything Liz Cheney say even remotely have importance to any single American? Has she ever shared our struggles? No, obviously not. Daddy had that silver spoon in her mouth her whole entire life. Remember, Daddy, Dick Cheney, was a former oil tycoon. He was the chairman of Halliburton Oil and Gas for years before the VP gig. At some point, Liz Cheney realized her total irrelevance and decided, what am I going to do? How am I going to become relevant again? And she decided that coming after Donald Trump and MAGA was her mission. And she abandoned her own party, the Republican Party, to go after Trump, just to be relevant again. Now, Liz, Hunter Biden, Daddy's name only got you so far. So, Liz, be careful with what you're doing here. And a reminder, Liz Cheney lost her Wyoming primary for her seat as a representative to Harriet Hageman, a rising star of the GOP, by more than 32 points, a record loss. So Liz, by the way, it's a very Republican county, very Republican district. So Liz decides to do something to get anyone's attention. So she comes out and declares her support for Kamala Harris. Do you believe it? She's going to support Kamala Harris against Donald Trump. Oh, how revolutionary you are, Liz. A progeny of the deep state, doesn't like Donald Trump. Ooh, that's new. The offspring of a known warmonger like Dick Cheney, doesn't like a peacemaker like Donald Trump. Say it ain't so. And Liz Cheney's attempted, pathetically, by the way, to take down of Donald Trump and all things MAGA, well, she came through nice and shiny clear when she became one of 10 Republicans who voted to impeach Trump. Remember that? Relating to January 6th. Of course, he was later acquitted in the Senate, the second sham impeachment of President Trump, but I digress. Liz Cheney co-chaired that ridiculous House investigation into January 6th. Fast forward to this week. She comes out and campaigns with Kamala Harris. And that's somehow supposed to move the needle for Kamala? A woman who abandoned her own party, who, by the way, once said that Kamala Harris would govern like a radical liberal who would raise taxes, take away our guns, and explode the size of the government. That's what Liz said about Kamala in the past. Hey, Liz, all those things are still going to be true. But this moment is rich. A party that spent years, decades, in fact, demonizing Liz's dad, the Republicans did, the liberals did. They demonized Liz's dad, Dick, for the war in Iraq after 9/11. And they now say this about him.
And I also want to thank your father, Vice President Dick Cheney, for his support and what he has done to serve our country. Every endorsement matters, and this endorsement matters a great deal, Liz, and it carries a special significance.
So hold it here a second. Democrats hated Dick Cheney. They hated George Bush. They hated Dick Cheney. They hated everything about him. They hated the Second Amendment. Remember, Dick Cheney almost blew someone's face. They just despised Dick Cheney. They hated George Bush for the involvement, weapons of mass destruction that never showed up, which, by the way, I don't like Bush for that as well. But they despised Dick Cheney. And for her, Kamala Harris, to stand on that podium and say, I want to thank Dick Cheney now, that is such pathetic political bullshit. I mean, you don't like Dick Cheney. You hate Dick Cheney. But you're going to thank Dick Cheney? Why? Because he had a daughter who hypocritically abandoned her own party to endorse you? That's politics. That is disgusting, ugly, hypocritical politics at its worst. This party, the liberals, stand for nothing. That party, the liberals, stand for control, power, and whatever it takes to get it and keep it. But zero principles are involved. They say, just give us your liberals, just give us your votes. We don't care if you're an illegal immigrant or a homegrown criminal. We don't care if you brought in enough fentanyl to kill the entire population of California. And we Democrats, we really don't even mind if you're a warmonger who plunges into an unnecessary war. Just give Kamala your vote. But I say, no one cares. Truth bomb here, folks. Liz Cheney doesn't matter. And the Democrats, we can keep her. All right, folks. Do we have, Colin, do we have voicemails by chance? Yes? We don't have the voicemails. See, now I asked you for voicemails. I said I was going to play them today, but we will play them for you on Monday. Don't forget, subscribe right here. That's the number. If you want to call and leave us a message, 888-601-0032. Mention your name and your city. We'll play some. We've been playing some all week. We'll get those up for you over the weekend or on Monday, probably on Monday. Oh, and by the way, this. Show them that last full screen. This is big. This is going to be big tomorrow. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. That's okay. No worries. Yeah. Ilona, yeah. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Oh, hold on, I might play one then. Why don't I just play it? Just give me 10 seconds. Well, why don't I just play it here? It's fine. No? Would you prefer me send it to you or? Okay, let me just go back to what I forwarded. I sent it to them already. 2 seconds, I'll get it to you. Sorry. All right, let me just do this. No, I think what we'll do is this. Grasshopper. Fuck it. We won't do them today. We'll pick it up. Yeah. Yeah. No, do Elon first, and then we'll do no voicemails today. But yeah, just go right into Elon. And this is big, folks. Take a look at this. This was announced just a couple hours prior to the show. Elon Musk will be joining Donald Trump back in Butler, Pennsylvania. So the big news is Trump is going back to Butler, Pennsylvania. And the even bigger news is Elon Musk is going to join Trump in Butler on Saturday. Wow, this is massive. This is really, really big. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go live from the house, of course, because we don't have the studio only during the week. But I'll go live from the house tomorrow, and I'll post some stuff on all the platforms, on YouTube, on Rumble, on the podcast platforms, and X and whatnot, other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, everywhere. So let's figure out what's going on. Wow, Trump back in Butler. That's freaking amazing. The guy was almost assassinated in that place. I'll tell you what, it'll be the safest place in the country tomorrow at 4 o'clock or whenever the time that Trump rally happens. I really want to see what Elon does. I'm sure Trump will bring Elon Musk up to the stage. They're going to talk about whether or not, I'm guessing that Elon Musk is going to be somehow part of the Trump administration when he wins in November, 32 days from now. So that should be really, really interesting. Looking forward to that. Also, again, we don't have the voicemails today for you. We had a bunch. I didn't have time to get them compiled and on the show, but we will on Monday. We'll get some from the weekend. 888-601-0032. Leave a message. Don't forget to mention your name and your city. Leave a message what you like, what you don't like about the podcast, about the show. Tell us what we should be covering and what we should stop covering. But I just love it and love being here with you guys. Week 1 in the books, folks. It's called It's a Wrap. Bolling out. You guys.